Welcome to Zonk. Story 1. I was in a happy 7-year relationship. Sure, we had our problems, and we fought, but I want to say I really screwed up was on our 5 going on 6-year relationship. I got pregnant, and because I could fully express that I was pregnant, I dropped hints and went on his assumption we couldn't do it. So I went to go get it taken care of. After that happened, I couldn't look at him. I was mad, but at the same time my mind was telling it was my fault. So I decided to take a break in January 2012. During that time I had time for myself, and because I was close to his best friend, we talked and I would let him know what a mess I was. So one day, we decided to go out for drinks and just talk about stuff. One thing led to another and we had sex. It was the biggest mistake of my life. I decided not to tell him. Now year 7, we had a little more fights once again. It was my brain doing all the negative thinking. It will be little, he doesn't want to have sex with you because you are ugly. I could never tell him what my mind was doing because I was afraid I was going to be judged. While I was doing all this negative thinking, his best friend would text me on how nice I am and caring and pretty. So that will boost my morale, but it got out of hand and it turned into sexting. I would send him pervert pictures and dirty things. Well, he saw my phone and found the texts. You can imagine what happened from there. He called and didn't confront me, but just told me over the phone, what does this mean? And why was I doing this? He didn't let me respond because all he was doing is yelling, so I yelled. We had sex once, but it didn't mean anything. We weren't together at that time and the text didn't mean anything. The next couple of days were horrible and he told his family, then his family attacked my family, which told me not to come home. In an instant, I lost everything. I was homeless, eating out of my car, and I deserved it. But luckily, I went to see a shrink. I found out I have borderline personality disorder, which explained for many things that happened. Now to the person that is my everything, I'm sorry, I failed, and I hope one day you can forgive me. I'm sorry for everything, and I will always love you. I hope for nothing but the best for you. I'm really sorry to hear that you went through such a difficult and painful experience in your past relationship. It sounds like you have deep regrets about the choices you made and the impact they had on your partner, as well as the subsequent fallout with both families. While it's understandable that you want to express your remorse and seek forgiveness, it's also important to give your ex-partner the space they need to process their own emotions. Forgiveness is a personal journey, and it may take time for them to come to terms with what happened and decide how they want to move forward. Story 2. I, 20 female, moved houses and switched job locations. I used to work with my partner, 17 male, until I moved. I thought I was going to be able to do the distance with him since it was just a 20 more minute drive and we saw nothing wrong with that. We were just so used to being with each other all the time. We started talking December 2020, and then we've been on and off. Reasons why was because I felt like I wasn't ready for a relationship. I was going through a rough time with my family and all that. When I moved, I decided that I actually wanted to be serious with this relationship, so I started to introduce him to my family and friends and even start going on more dates. I still felt the problems of my family weighing down on me, so I told him I actually need to address this with a therapist so I could be better. So we took maybe like a week apart. To be clear, he asked me to be his girlfriend one time and I said no, so we were just talking for 6 months. But we still felt a strong connection. I started a new workplace and met a guy, 21, and hit it off instantly. We watched some shows together during lunch, and I took him home a few times and he even got me flowers. He expressed his feelings towards me, and I started to feel the same way. At the back of my head was the other guy though. I felt really stressed out, so I told the work guy that he wasn't the right guy for me at this moment, so just to leave it at that. He insisted that he would change for me, so I just said to leave it as friends. The Friday following, I hung out with the other guy, 17 male. He saw a missed call from the guy at work, and I deleted quickly, but he still saw and asked who it was, and I said just a coworker. A few days go by, maybe like 4 days, and 17 male had asked me again, and I told him it was just a coworker. The morning after, I became really anxious and stressed out. So I called 17 Male and told him the whole truth. He was really upset because he had been cheated on his last relationship, and this really triggered him. He has blocked me on every social media and through phone as well. He told me he would never forgive me because I cheated and I lied to him. I never intended to be anything with 21 Male, so I told 17 Male the whole truth, thinking that maybe it will be better, but now he hates me. 17 Male told me to forget about the future with him because there isn't any. I feel so guilty because I knew how much it would hurt him, but I couldn't stand the fact of me lying to him anymore. It was a stupid mistake of me to do this, and now I really think I lost the person that cared most about me. How can I forgive myself from this and move on? OP, first of all, stop dating minors. Second, stop taking guys who aren't your boyfriend home with you. None of this would have happened if you had a bit more restraint. But I guess, lesson learned, case in point. You both can move on and not make these same mistakes in your future relationship. Comments. What do you want here? For someone to tell you it's okay? It's not. You cheated. You have to live with the guilt and leave that boy alone. You're an adult woman messing around with a 17-year-old child. You cheated, lied, and broke his heart after you knew he was already cheated on. Nice person you are. Edit. Just read your comment. So you didn't do anything physical with him, just hung out with him? That's not physical cheating, but you did emotionally cheat. You should have been honest straight away. Use this as a learning experience and move on from it. If you're having feelings for some other guy, drop the first one and don't use him as a fallback. Not fair to any of the participants. Good that you come clean because it would have been far worse for your first guy to hear it from somebody else. Eventually, he may loosen up and be willing to listen to your side of the story. But if he doesn't, don't blame him. We all handle betrayal in different ways. But either way, I hope you've learned something. Don't have anything valuable to add. You guys are so young still. One thing to note, keep work separate from relation. If I understand correctly, both relations started at workplace. That does feel like every job switch equals new relation. Story 3. This is going to be a bit long, but I need some help. I'm a 24-year-old female, and my boyfriend is 25 male. We've been dating for about 4 years now, and we've had many ups and downs. Most of them caused by me. Every year that we've dated, I have cheated on him. I had sex with another guy. He's been amazing at forgiving me, and honestly, this past time, I did cheat. I really don't want another chance. I don't really feel like I deserve another one at that. I feel like my idea of love is completely messed up. I'm struggling with why I cheated multiple times and how I can mess up a relationship that is good. So I tried breaking up with him, and he will not let it happen. He says the times it was good and the times that I was being a great girlfriend override the 4 times I cheated. He gets on his knees begging me to give him a chance because that's what he feels he deserves. He also says that since he's gotten to my family really well, and that he feels like he's finally getting acceptance into my family, that I should do that for him. I've told him that I don't want to be with him. In fact, it's so difficult. All I can think about is how awful of a person I am, how I trampled on his heart and hurt his feelings. I often think about how he deserves someone so much better than me. Does he really love that much that he's willing to overlook everything that I screwed up to be with me? Another time that I tried to break up with him was at his apartment. He would not let me leave the room and took my car keys away from me so that I couldn't leave. He kept talking about all the fun times that we've had and took a collage of pictures that I made and pointed to our smiling faces and saying that, "This is the person I remember, the fun-loving and caring person that I know you have potential of being." I ended up staying over that night. He's afraid that if I break up with him, that I'm going to continue to sleep around. But honestly, I feel like I have so many mental issues that I have to work on that I really just want to be left alone. I was considering of leaving the country and staying with my relatives just to figure out what I want in my life. Lately, we've been trying to make our relationship work. We see each other once a week and we go out on dates. During the week, I stay with my parents so that I can focus on my schoolwork. Today, I flipped out on him over the phone because I was in the middle of studying, but he needed to communicate some information about my school. But whenever I'm not with him and he calls me, I always get upset and annoyed that he's calling me. Always. I think that it's because deep down inside that this is the only way that I can feel like I can get space from him. And when he calls, I feel that he's invading. Reddit, what do? I feel like I can't keep trying anymore. I feel like I'm hurting him more by even making an attempt at trying to make this relationship work. People who have cheated and worked on your relationship, how did you overcome these obstacles? It sounds like you're going through a difficult and complicated situation in your relationship. Cheating can be a deeply hurtful and destructive behavior, and it's commendable that you're reflecting on your actions and the impact they've had on your partner. It's important to remember that rebuilding trust takes time, effort, and consistent commitment from both parties. First and foremost, it's crucial to address the underlying reasons why you've cheated multiple times. Understanding your motivations and exploring any personal issues or insecurities that may have contributed to your actions can be an important step towards personal growth and healing. Consider seeking therapy or counseling to help you navigate these emotions and gain insight into your behavior. Comments. I'm sorry to be blunt, but you have issues. You need to see a therapist. Even if you leave him, it sounds like you have past issues that will forever haunt any relationships you do have in the future as well. You need a plan, and you have to stick to it. Plan to stay somewhere else for a while, and let him know you're leaving and that the relationship is over. Do not give him a chance to beg. Just leave.